Welcome back to the channel, guys, and welcome to another surprise episode, this time on our FD RX7, so stick around to find out why. She's dusty, she's a little bit battered, and she doesn't match, and you will actually seen this car once before on our channel if you've been a long enough subscriber, because about a year and a half ago, we did a single episode on it where we pulled the engine out because the engine in this thing was blown. And we did a full rebuild of it using mostly parts that were not from that engine. And you can find out what that's all about. Dud, right? Yeah, it was a dud and a half. And you can find out all about that in that engine build series that we did, which was sponsored by Valvoline. For now, we just want to prep it to go to paint because the paint on this thing is trashed. And we do have a little bit of a issue in the back rear quarter here, which I don't know if we really showed you this in the engine removal. Probably didn't.
I think it happened after the engine removal.
Oh, did it?
Yeah.
Okay, well, we had a little accident here in the shop where the car was parked over in the corner and we had a stack of tires there. And the stack of tires was, not hit by a tornado, but somehow overnight it fell because we came in the morning and this dent was here, the gas door was broken. And was this dent, I guess, was from the tires as well.
Yep.
There was some tears shed, a lot of sighing happened, and we walked away and kind of forgot about it because it was too depressing, but it's now time to deal with it. And if you need glass removed from your car, especially if it's Japanese, there's only one man to go to, and that of course is Adam from Froggy's Auto Glass.
Hello.
You're based in the Niagara region.
Falls. Correct, yeah.
But he's willing to travel up the road to help us out.
Yeah.
Done a bunch of cars for us now.
Yeah, helps the suppliers around the corner too.
So it looks like you've chosen to start out back.
Yes, we are going to extract the rear glass and save it, and we're gonna damage the rubber on the way out, but that's okay. We're going to replace that.
Yep.
And yeah, just going to slow down my process here and get this cut out safely so we can reuse it.
So it looks like you've just encountered something you haven't seen before, which is surprising.
Yeah, I'm seeing spacers in between the glass and the pinch weld, and then tentatively like a leveling spacer.
Like right in here, eh?
I've never seen that. I mean, I've seen spacers on studded back windows, like pickup trucks, years ago, but not now.
Adam hooked up his top secret device here with the wire.
Yeah.
It's going to pass through the seal and...
we're going to pass it through and then tie it off with a miniature suction cup. And
does it heat up to melt the urethane in there?
Negative.
Oh, man.
No heating up.
You got my hopes up.
No. But this is the fancy way of cutting out and saving windows. A little tricky. I'm never usually working in this position. But basically, we're trying to...
That's car life, man. You're never working in the position you want to be in.
All right, we got the wire through. Now we're just going to tie it off on the outside.
Should I be wearing gloves too, Adam? Am I doing it wrong here?
No, you're okay. We're just going to go slowly and cut out that 30-year-old glue. So we're going to get to about here. And then the other...
You'll have to reset to a new position.
You feeling tension?
Yep, just now.
Now you're going to hit the stud, right?
Yeah, you see here, Dave, the stud, like in the way right here.
Oh yeah, right here.
If we're lucky enough, we can just do this.
Yeah, there you go. Oh yeah.
You got it?
Look at that.
All right.
Do you trust these cups enough?
Absolutely, man.
All right,
take that off.
Got it?
Where are we going to put that glass now, dude?
Yeah, I know. We've got so much glass in this shop.
Going on eBay.
Stacked over there. Well, that was not without its struggles because of these studs here, but it's out.
It's out, yeah. We had to play around getting in and around those studs, but once we managed to do that, it was a rather clean cutout, and I'm happy to see that it's all solid. There's no rust on the car.
Yeah, no sign of any rust in there, which is great.
So just going to be a simple cleanup job, replace the rubber molding, and then we can reinstall it after your paintwork's done.
Sweet. windscreen came out easier than the back, I guess, eh?
We saved it, no fractures, and yeah, we could tentatively reuse it if we wanted to.
Okay.
But there is a bit of pitting, so I've recommended Dave that perhaps we should exchange it to something new.
Right.
Something aftermarket, something made in Japan.
Nice. It's a good idea.
I don't know, I'm thinking about maybe a blue top tint as opposed to the gold top tint.
Yeah, I like that
Get a bit
idea.
fancy.
I like that idea. And you can source that kind of stuff?
We can probably find it, yeah.
All right, well, Adam's just making more work for himself. And
Leave it up to me.
this vent in here for the defrosting of the windscreen
A little bit tattered,
is
huh?
absolutely hammered. It's broken in
Yeah,
three
if someone's
pieces
got
here.
one of those,
That we really
we
need.
definitely need that.
Well, thanks again. You
Yeah,
bailed
thanks,
us out
guys.
once
Appreciate
more.
it.
Really appreciate your help, and we'll take you for a rip when this thing's done.
Looking forward.
Well, the scope creep has begun, everyone, because popping the hood and having a look around in the engine bay, the car's going to paint anyway, and we thought, you know what, like, look at the shock towers. The paint's kind of like chipped off in places. It's just not looking very fresh in here, and it's gonna look kind of weird to have fresh paint on the body and not in the engine bay. And with the motor out, it won't take us long to like pull out the booster, pull out the ABS stuff, strip some of this stuff back so that Richie can paint this while he's painting the rest of the car. So with apologies to Richie, we're adding work here, but I think it's well worth it. It'll make the car look so much nicer. There we have it, stripped down as best as we could, within reason. We didn't want to go too crazy, but we think we've got enough stuff out of the way to let Richie do his work. And there's certain things that we didn't remove, like these plastic clips here for the brake lines. We're not sure how to remove those without breaking them, so we figured Richie being a body guy, he'll know how to get those out of the way. It's still kind of surprising to me, Pete, like how much paint is like been removed.
Well, that's because the motor's been removed, I think, 100 times, right?
I was gonna say, like, motor in and out is probably why the shock towers are so beat up too. Like, this car's had a bunch of hacks working on it. Now it's got 2 more hacks working on it, but we're gonna make this thing as nice as we can within reason. This is not a frame off restoration though, so we'll make it look as pretty as we can.
Yeah, and we should also mention that, like, all the wiring harness, there's going to be a ton of stuff that's going to get taped off rather than removing it.
Yes.
At this point, it can be taped off and painted around it, right?
Exactly. This stuff can get taped out of the way. That stuff can get taped out of the way. So it should be, I think, good enough for Richie to do his work. And here's what we pulled out. That's a new one. I've never seen a cap fail like this before. Hello, everyone. My name's Mr. Brake Fluid
It's
Cap.
just because it's probably been over tightened 1,000 times, man.
Like, that's a weird way to fail, though.
It's just like they've been cranking it down.
But look at the way it's all like eaten away on the top of the plastic there. Like,
I don't know.
weird, man. Somebody spilled something on there. Anyway, we'll get a new cap on there. Before we send this off to paint, we've got to test a bunch of body parts on here to make sure everything fits the way we want it to. And we thought, why not give this car a quick cleanup so that it looks cooler when we put these parts on it. And so we're gonna do the thing you should never do, and that is wash your car from nose to tail with Brilliant Shine Detailer. It's not designed for this, but we're doing it anyway.
Sonax knows, man. That's the best of the best, so it'll work.
We're just
It's gonna be
gonna,
just fine.
we're just gonna spray it on here, wipe it off, and it'll look better than it does. She's a classic. I don't know if she's a legend. I would say she's a JDM legend, wouldn't you?
Oh, heck yeah.
She's got to be in like that.
The FR JDM legend.
Yeah, like of the 4 greatest JDM cars of the 90s, I would certainly put this in the top 4. Like, you've got maybe the GTR. I know you would. Supra, FD, and NSX. Are those the big 4?
I think you're there, man.
Yeah?
I think you're there.
See,
especially from a time attack perspective.
Yeah, I mean, these things are still incredibly relevant in the time attack world. I was just watching some time attack content on a YouTuber called brickhouse.spl for special. He's an American who lives in Japan, married to a Japanese woman, and he's been covering a lot of the time attack series there. And man, there's some amazing FDs with a crazy aero on it. Super cool to see his perspective on it. So go check out his channel, brickhouse.spl. It's amazing what a quick spit shine will do. It's looking much better. And man, it looks so much cooler with those RX-8 wheels off of it too. Those were hideous on this car.
They really are,
so
yeah.
sunken in. In any case, we're gonna start with the front lip. You can see we've got the 99 spec front bumper and lip on here, which has a split down the middle.
It's actually factory.
I know,
It's
I know.
so weird.
It's always irritated me though. Like, why would you do that from the factory? I don't get it. In any case, we have bought this very nice carbon fiber 99 spec replacement unit from Shine Auto, and it's actually a little bit more aggressive. So it's not a true replica of that. It actually has like more of a splitter built into it. So let's unbolt the old one and test fit this one and make sure it fits up the way we want it. It's not going to get painted, but we just want to make sure it fits properly. Man, props to Shine Auto because this thing fits up remarkably well, doesn't it, Pete?
Oh, it's perfect.
It just bolts up the way you would want an OEM piece to bolt up. So, and it looks so good.
Yeah, I certainly like the subtle, OEM upgrade from it, OEM Plus, I guess.
Yep.
It's gonna look really, really good.
Adds that nice bit of aggression. I love the bit of detail the carbon's gonna add with the car being black. It's gonna look really, really killer. Down the sides here, we have just taped on our JDM OE side skirts, and we actually looked far and wide for original versions of these, and we just couldn't find any. And the ones that are out there are just ungodly expensive. So these are replicas, again, from Shine Auto, and I think they're just like an FRP, and they fit actually very well. So there are little reliefs underneath where there's spots for hardware to bolt them on, and then I think along the top edge here, they're just gonna be held on with 3M adhesive by the look of it. But as far as fit goes, I think they fit really well. So, we should also mention we do have the OEM spats on the back here.
That's a score.
That is a score, and that matches with these OE side skirts. So nice to have that on the car. In what must have been a very interesting life led before this car came to us, someone decided to remove the wing and put faux carbon fiber vinyl over the holes.
And that's what makes it look so much better.
Right? That's some quality tuning.
Look at this stuff.
Oh god, it's nasty. But you can see from the shape here, like there was a wing on this car.
Yeah, it had the OEM wing on it, which
Yes.
is like the low
boy, yeah. We, however, have something a little bit different in mind that we think are going to use these OE bolt holes. So
TP, are you using a razor on the paint?
it's plastic and it's going to get painted.
Oh, that's right.
Don't
that's
worry,
right. Okay,
don't worry.
okay. We teased this in a previous episode, but here we have a brand new 99 spec JDM rear wing in what is this, Montego blue, or what's the blue called?
Yeah,
I don't think
this is the Montego blue. The Montego blue is more like a greeny blue.
You're right. Yeah, you're right.
I
You're
forget
right.
what this one's called, but it's a nice,
Anyways, this
nice
is like
color.
one. I think this is my favorite color of FD.
I like it a lot too.
I really like it, and man, I managed to score this for a smoking deal, $1,600, which I think the average going price these days is like 2,000 plus US. So.
Yeah.
I certainly lucked out on that. You can see we are unfortunately going to have to drill holes. We just pulled the stud out of here. I'm gonna pull this off here actually too, so we can lay this thing flat, so we can show you what it looks like. This is the weirdest thing. Look at over here. This plastic clip is mounted like this as such with this metal clip.
Yeah.
Here, it's like molded in. What's going on?
Weird.
Mazda, what's going on?
It is a real Mazda wing though.
It is 100%, and I don't want to pull this one because we might break it. So, anyways, this is off to paint, so it's not a big deal. But let's just look at this thing. How cool is this gonna look? It was just too good to be true. We were cruising along here, everything was going so well, and then we decided we wanted to pull the rear bumper, and I'll show you why once we get it off. But things have escalated. A moose has shown up, and pretty much the rear of the entire interior here is being stripped, so I can get to, right now, I'm essentially there trying to pull these studs, oh my God, right here. These guys that hold the rear bumper on. And for whatever reason, Mazda decided to bolt, like this one panel here, it's like a one-piece panel, and now you gotta pull the front panel, which means you gotta pull the seats out, which means you had to pull all this out. Yeah, there it is. God, that was like an hour's worth of work. I'm pissed.
It's crazy how much.
Pissed how long that took.
Strange design they've used to like bolt all this together.
It's really
Never seen
nonsense.
anything quite like it.
On the upside to this, the body shop likely would have done this, and I feel bad because they probably would have felt like they broke a bunch of clips and stuff, because this is a Mazda, and everything is so brittle on here. Like this
30-year-old plastic.
This plastic here, you can see a bunch of these broke here. The design on this is just
not
anyways.
great. Yeah, they all overlap each other, so it's like you can't take one out without taking the next one out.
And now I get why there is such a huge demand for interiors for these vehicles and why people are buying essentially like full parts cars just for the interiors if the interiors are good, because I can see like if this stuff's breaking and something cracks, like you're SOL. So speaking of which, there's a ton of stuff we need for this car interior wise. So if you have an FD that you're parting out, it's a right-hand drive car, please, please, please hit me up. There's a bunch of stuff we need. And here's the reason why we went through all of that effort to remove this rear bumper, because we had to. As you can see, we're trying to remove this diffuser, trim piece, whatever you want to call it. And there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 screws here that you're telling yourself, you know what? I can access these from underneath, no problem. But then somebody had the genius idea of adding a screw up here, and the rebar sits like this, so you can't even access it. I don't know what they were thinking, but that's why it means we had to pull this entire bumper to do this. So we're gonna pull this off, and then we're gonna show you what we are bolting on.
There we have it, our RE2 style rear diffuser from China Auto. It's like a street style diffuser, and it blends in beautifully with the rear bumper. You can see we've got a little gap here, but there's actually gonna be a fastener that goes in and it holds it up. We've just held it on with tape just to test fitment out, but we think it actually fits very well. And with a little bit of tuning, it's gonna work really, really well. I think it just blends so nicely with the shape of the rear bumper. Kind of like Pete was saying off camera, that it really like modernizes the look of the rear end, and I totally agree. I think it really gives it that little bit of extra spice out back. And the carbon, I think, is really gonna tie in nicely with the front lip. So, you know, aesthetically, I think this is a really nice upgrade. Just throwing the rear taillights back in here so we can get a proper look at them with the diffuser on here. But by the way, guys, there's lots of interesting options for rear taillights on these cars. Let us know in the comment section what you think we should do with these. Like, we could just like cut and polish them and re-clear them, kind of just like freshen them up. Pete was saying there's a template that you can put on the inside of these with like the 3 circles in it to give it that like updated look. Or there's the aftermarket stuff like the R Magic taillights that Ben at Gears and Gasoline put on his yellow FD, which are very nice, but also worth $1 million.
Yeah, there's a bunch of guys making them, so if people have suggestions as to who's reputable to make those cool LED ones, certainly post in the comments, because we're all ears on this. And here we have an OEM Mazda front tray that goes under the engine, and it's gonna bolt up beautifully. We just want to double check to make sure everything's gonna work. It's gonna work with our front lip as well. And we do have these 99 spec brake ducts, and they're just gonna fit up like that. And this right here is what I think you need for a paint job. Things like new window trim. I did buy the lower door trim here too, so those are still available, which was awesome. Also purchased things that I did not need, like these little rubber pieces that go on the spoiler. Foolishly, I don't know, maybe I was thinking we'd be running an OEM one, or the low mount one originally, so those are gonna go back. And really importantly, these are still available, which are the door handles. And I think if you look at these guys here, they are fully trashed. So having these new ones is gonna be a huge savior. I bought random stuff like washer nozzles too.
Yeah, why not?
Figured why not, right?
Yeah.
You make them look good. Thankfully this car doesn't have a ton of trim that needs to be replaced. There's some sketchiness going on here, and that is all in the name of seeing what this car looks like with a proper set of wheels without having a massive amount of wheel gap here. We do not have an engine, so this car sits reverse rake this way. And what I've decided to do is put a spring compressor on here. We don't have adjustable coilovers on this thing, which this is probably the first time I've ever seen a set of teen suspension that doesn't have adjustment. Like, this is a full shock and spring combo. On the used car market these days, these are probably worth more than coilovers because they're mint and rare.
Yeah.
And that's the 2 things you need to be able to charge 200% over market value.
Well, it may still have a bit of a rallycross ride height, but man, this thing is looking so much better already. It went from being a truly hideous beater FD to already showing a lot of promise, don't you think, Pete?
Heck yeah, this thing's looking good, man.
It is looking good. And as you can see, we threw on our old Supra wheels. These are some work emotion CRs, I think. Yeah. In a 18 by 8.5 front, 18 by 9.5 rear, plus 38 offset. And they're actually pretty much spot on offset wise. Gives you guys some ideas about, you know, wheel fitment on these chassis. And of course we did wrap them in what is the straight pipes recommended tire for an FD RX7. That is of course Continental's Extreme Contact Sport. We also recommend them really for anyone who wants to drive their car in the summer in an enthusiastic way. We find them to be an excellent street tire and a durable track tire too. They are surprisingly quick and surprisingly rugged at the racetrack. Obviously they have the Extreme Contact Force if you want a full track tire, but as a true street tire that can also do some light track duty, we love these tires. And all this Spec 99 stuff, the Shine Auto stuff, the carbon front and rear, the wing, I mean, it all just brings the car to life in a way that has me really excited about it. Well, there you have it, everyone. Thanks again for watching. We really do appreciate it. And if you're enthusiastic about FDs, then consider hitting that like button and maybe even subscribing, because there is going to be a whole bunch more FD content coming on this here YouTube channel, as well as Pete's S15, which is mildly cool, but let's be honest, FD, Team FD, sign up below.